My entitled stepdaughter ate her birthday cake behind my back. So, I grounded her, canceled her party, and excluded her from her own birthday trip as punishment. Even after the trip, she still sold. So, I threw out all her snacks and canceled her allowance. Now, I'm regretting everything. I'm a mom of 4 kids, 2 younger ones, 6 and 8. My daughter, Megan, who's 13, and my stepdaughter Deborah, who's also 13. My husband and I have been married for 4 years and we've all been living together since then. Deborah has never liked me much and I'll admit the feeling isn't mutual. We're not close and frankly she makes that impossible. She's disrespectful and stubborn and acts like I'm some intruder who doesn't deserve authority. She does the bare minimum to be polite when her dad is watching. And the second he's not, she either ignores me or argues with me. I've tried. Okay, I've planned family movie nights, made special meals, and helped her with school projects, but she never wanted that. She just wants her dad's attention all to herself. She also has some issues with food. I'm not saying this to be cruel. It's just a fact Deborah is overweight for her age and extremely sedentary. I've talked to my husband about it more than once. It's always an awkward conversation, but I'm concerned. She eats snacks constantly, refuses to go outside, and I'm the only one in this house who thinks that should be a problem. My husband's philosophy is she's a growing kid, but I don't think that justifies letting her have junk food whenever she wants and turning a blind eye to unhealthy habits. Megan and my younger kids all eat balanced meals. They play sports and they ride their bikes. But Deborah just sits in her room or parks on the couch with her tablet. Last week was Deborah's birthday. She turned 13 and since her birthday fell on a Friday, we planned a sleepover with some of her school friends. I actually put in a lot of effort. I stayed up most of Thursday night baking a multi-layered cake with matching cupcakes. I decorated them with her favorite colors and even added little custom toppers. Honestly, it looked amazing. I also made a separate batch of sugar-free cupcakes just for Deborah. I didn't announce it or anything. I just quietly set them aside for her. I thought that was fair. The big cake and regular cupcakes were for her guests. She's had issues with portion control in the past, and I didn't want her binging on sugar all night just because it was her birthday. And before anyone asks, no, I didn't tell her she couldn't have any cake. I just tried to offer a healthier option. The party itself was fine. The girls were loud, made a mess, and stayed up way too late. But that's what 13-year-old girls do. Saturday morning after the kids left and things calmed down, I cleaned up and started getting things ready for Sunday. We'd planned a family day at the amusement park since the kids had Monday off school. It was going to be the real birthday celebration. Everyone was excited about it, especially Megan and the younger 2. I figured it would be a nice reward after the chaos of hosting 6 preteens. Now, here's where things went south. Saturday afternoon, after I'd taken the younger kids out for a bit, I do mornings with them since their school's across town. I came home and noticed something off about the birthday cake. A slice had been cut sloppily too, and it was obvious it hadn't been done with any care. I immediately asked Megan if she'd had any, and she said no. She hadn't even been home most of the day. That left only one person. When Deborah got home, I asked her directly if she'd eaten a piece of the cake. She didn't deny it. She said, "Yeah, I did. It's my cake. I should be able to have some if I want some." Now listen, I understand that it was technically her birthday cake, but that doesn't mean she gets to go sneaking around eating it before anyone else has had any. It was meant for Sunday. I wanted to bring it out at the amusement park for pictures and maybe even a little birthday picnic. It was going to be a surprise moment for everyone to enjoy, and she just went and hacked into it like it was a leftover casserole. What bothered me the most wasn't even that she ate it. It was her attitude. No apology, no remorse, just entitlement. Like she was proud of herself. Like I was stupid for even asking. I told my husband what happened when he got home. He immediately said I was overreacting and that Deborah probably didn't realize I had plans for the cake. I told him it didn't matter. She didn't even ask. She just assumed she could help herself. And now the whole thing is ruined. He said it's not ruined. It's a slice of cake. Calm down and I nearly lost it. It took me all night to make that cake. I was exhausted. My back hurt. I stayed up past 2 a.m. piping frosting because I wanted Deborah to have something nice for her party. And she just went and dug into it like it was no big deal. No gratitude, no respect, nothing. So, I told Deborah she would not be coming to the amusement park with us the next day. I said it clearly without yelling or dragging it out. I told her that eating the cake without permission after I spent all night making it showed a complete lack of appreciation and self-control. I said the trip was a reward and she hadn't earned it. I told her she was grounded and had to stay home. She didn't argue. She didn't cry or apologize. She just shrugged and walked off. That reaction told me everything I needed to know. She didn't care. There was no remorse. No understanding. Just that same defiant whatever attitude she always has when she doesn't get her way. My husband, on the other hand, flipped out. The second I told him, he started in with, "You're seriously banning her from her birthday trip over cake." I reminded him it wasn't just cake. It was the blatant disregard for something I made, the effort I put in, and the total disrespect. When I confronted her, he said, "She's 13. That's what kids do." I told him Megan is also 13. And she doesn't pull crap like that. He kept pushing, saying I was being vindictive and punishing Deborah for not being my daughter. That one pissed me off. I've never treated Deborah differently just because she's not mine. I plan her birthdays. I buy her clothes. I help with school stuff. But I won't let her walk all over me just to prove I'm a good stepmom. Anyway, Sunday morning comes and I stick to my decision. Megan and the two younger kids are dressed, excited, and ready to go. I tell Deborah she's staying home. My husband decides last minute that he's staying back too. He says if Deborah isn't going, he's not going. Fine by me. I took the three kids and we went. We had a good time. The weather was perfect. Megan helped with the little ones. Everyone got snacks and played games. I didn't bring the ruined cake. I wasn't going to haul around something that had already been hacked into. Instead, I picked up some funnel cakes at the park. The kids were happy. I don't think Deborah even crossed their minds, to be honest. When we got home, my husband didn't speak to me. I expected that. He's been giving me the cold shoulder since acting like I committed some crime by holding Deborah accountable. He even slept in the guest room that night. Says I humiliated his daughter on her birthday. I told him she humiliated herself when she acted like rules don't apply to her. Since then, he's barely said more than a few words to me. Just pass the salt or what time are the kids getting picked up. It's immature. He's mad that I didn't bend just because it was Deborah's birthday, but I've bent enough. I've overlooked the eye rolls, the passive-aggressive comments, and the obvious favoritism he shows. I'm done letting her act like the house doesn't have rules. What's really bothering me is how Megan is being dragged into it. She told me later that Deborah was texting her while we were out, trying to guilt her. Must be nice to be the favorite. Hope the fun was worth stabbing me in the back. Stuff like that. Megan showed me the messages. I told her not to respond and she didn't. She's a good kid. She gets it, and I know someone's going to say, I should have had a calm conversation with Deborah. I've done that over and over. Every time she crosses a line, I sit her down. I talk. I explain. I try to reason. It never gets through. She doesn't take me seriously because she knows her dad will always swoop in and undermine me. This time, I didn't give him the chance. Also, let's be clear about something. I didn't scream at her. I didn't insult her. I didn't call her names or bring up her weight. I just enforced a consequence. One day, she's going to be out in the world and people aren't going to care that she didn't mean it or that it was her birthday. She'll be expected to respect other people's time, effort, and boundaries. If no one teaches her that now, when is she supposed to learn? Deborah still hasn't apologized. No surprise there. My husband is still sulking. Also, not a surprise. What is surprising is how I'm somehow the bad guy for not letting a kid run wild in my house. It's not about the damn cake. It's about teaching her that actions have consequences. I know some of you will say pick your battles, but I think that's a lazy way of saying let her do whatever she wants. This wasn't a battle I picked. This was a boundary she crossed. And this time I followed through. So now I'm stuck in this weird standoff. My husband's pissed. Deborah is playing the victim and I'm just trying to keep things functioning. I'm not apologizing. I meant what I said. But everyone around me is acting like I kicked her puppy instead of holding her accountable. Anyway, that's the situation. Ada comments comment 1 Uta. And I don't think you even like this kid, which would be one thing if you just admitted it. But you're doing mental gymnastics to frame everything as teaching her boundaries. No, you're pissed she doesn't act like your daughter and you punish her for it under the guise of being a responsible parent. Let's be real, she's 13. She ate a slice of her own birthday cake the day after her party. That's not some grand act of betrayal. That's called being a teenager with zero impulse control. News flash. They all have it. You say Megan would never do that, but you've clearly raised her in your mold. Deborah didn't. She came into this household with a different personality, and you never adapted. You call her entitled, but you planned a whole party and then decided the actual birthday girl couldn't have her cake. Then you punished her with exclusion, the most emotionally damaging route you could take for a 13-year-old. And I promise you, she didn't even cry. Doesn't mean she wasn't hurt. It means she's used to you being this cold. And your husband, he's spineless for not stepping it. Sure, but I don't blame him for finally tapping out. You made that whole trip about asserting dominance over a middle schooler. Hope it was worth it. Comment 2 Uda. Starting with that cake. It's her birthday. The main cake should be her cake. If you're that concerned about sugar intake, then make the sugar-free cake the main one and let everyone eat it. But you didn't. You deliberately separated her from the group by giving her her own special cupcakes like she was some kind of problem to manage. You basically told a 13-year-old, here, eat your modified version over there while your friends get the real thing. Do you have any idea what kind of message that sends a teenage girl at that age with body image already being a disaster zone? That wasn't thoughtful. That was humiliating. Then you punished her for cutting into her own birthday cake a day after the party, like it was some criminal act. The way you described her cutting the cake, I honestly wonder if you were more offended that she touched something you made without your permission. Canceling the whole amusement park trip over that was just you being vindictive. Comment 3. Oh my god, what a power trip. Uda, you made sugar-free cupcakes for the birthday girl while everyone else got real ones and then acted shocked when she didn't stick to the pre-approved rations. Jesus, I don't care if she's overweight. That's not your job to micromanage, especially in a house where she clearly doesn't feel safe or wanted. You humiliated her with your food policing and then made her miss a family outing to twist the knife. Also, she didn't even apologize. Yeah, because she's done. That's learned apathy. That's a kid who knows it won't matter what she says because your mind's made up. You say you don't treat her differently because she's not your daughter, but you absolutely do. Megan gets grace, patience, and the benefit of the doubt. Deborah gets rules and punishments that are thinly veiled emotional payback. Your version of parenting is just control. Your husband's silent because he knows there's no winning here. He's stuck between his daughter and someone who sees defiance in a slice of cake. Update: I didn't expect this much attention on my original post. I'm not here to win anyone over, just sharing what's happened since. Things at home haven't exactly improved, but that's not because of me. I made a reasonable decision. I enforced a clear boundary. I didn't scream or lose control. I didn't hit her or curse her out. I simply told Deborah she wouldn't be joining the rest of us at the amusement park after she showed no remorse for disrespecting my effort. Since then, she's been sulking. For the past 2 weeks, Deborah has refused to eat dinner with the family. At first, my husband tried to encourage her. He'd go knock on her door and coax her out. But after a few days, he gave up. I told him, if she wants to act like a brat and isolate herself, let her. I'm not chasing her, but I'm not running a restaurant. I told her clearly, if she's refusing to eat meals with us, she can start preparing her own food. I stopped buying special snacks. I only buy healthy food anyway, but I used to get low-calorie popcorn or sugar-free pudding cups just for her. I'm done with that now. She threw them away last week, and I found the empty packages stuffed into the bathroom trash. So, fine. No more. She now scavenges cereal or eats bread with peanut butter. That's her choice. Last Friday, things escalated. I got an email from the school that Deborah skipped 6th period. I waited until she got home. And when I asked about it, she just said I didn't feel like going. No explanation, no apology. I grounded her until Christmas. No electronics, no social outings, no phone. I took her tablet and told her she can earn it back with consistent respectful behavior. Not just being quiet, but actually pulling her weight. Megan does her chores without me asking. Megan cleans up after herself. Megan eats healthily. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect the same from another 13-year-old. Deborah, of course, took it like she always does. Blank face, arms crossed, zero accountability. Megan has noticed the tension and has started acting distant. She's not disrespectful, but she's short with me. Doesn't hang around the kitchen like she used to. I sat her down a few nights ago and reminded her who pays her phone bill, who signed her up for soccer and who stayed up sewing her Halloween costume last year when Amazon lost the one we ordered. I told her I don't expect her to pick sides, but I do expect respect. She said, I just feel bad for Deborah. I told her, feeling bad for someone who refuses to take responsibility doesn't make her a better person. Just a naive one. My husband, meanwhile, has officially moved into the guest room. That's his choice. He's been angry ever since the amusement park trip. What really set him off was when he found out I threw out some junk food I found in Deborah's room. She had stashed a bag of chips and a 2-liter soda under her bed. I walked in, cleaned the mess, and tossed it all. I don't care if that's her private space. If she won't keep it clean, it's communal. I treat it like the rest of the house. I told my husband I wouldn't let the younger kids have moldy cups or trash shoved under their beds either. She's not special. He told me I was violating her boundaries and that I should have talked to him first. I told him if he wants to manage every little thing about Deborah's life, then he can be the one to raise her full time. But I'm the one here day in and day out. I'm the one who checks her grades, handles her doctor appointments, and packs her school lunch when she lets me. I'm basically her only real mom at this point. That didn't go over well. He accused me of trying to erase Deborah's actual mother. I said if her mother gave a damn, maybe she'd call once in a while. But I haven't heard from that woman in over 6 months. I'm not going to sit back and watch Deborah go down the same dysfunctional path. Someone has to step up. This week, I found out my husband has been secretly giving Deborah money. Cash. I found a crumpled $20 bill in her hoodie when doing laundry. When I asked where she got it, she said, Dad gave it to me. I confronted him. He admitted it. He said she needed money for snacks at school and didn't want to set me off. I told him if he ever goes behind my back again, we'll have a bigger problem than sleeping in different rooms. I'm not playing games with a man who thinks sneaking around behind his wife is better than being a united front. He claims I've created an environment where he has no say. I told him he has every say until he uses it to undermine me. Now he's talking about family counseling. Says it's non-negotiable. I said he's free to go by himself. I'm not wasting money to sit in a room while strangers tell me to stop parenting because my stepdaughter doesn't like hearing the word no. I know Reddit thinks I'm cruel, that I'm controlling, that I'm damaging Deborah, but I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I'm trying to raise someone who isn't going to coast through life thinking she's owed everything. If that makes me the bad guy, so be it. I didn't grow up in a house where I got away with disrespecting my parents. And Megan doesn't either. She knows how to behave and she thrives. It's not my fault Deborah can't follow basic expectations. When she starts acting like part of this family, I'll treat her like it. Until then, I'll do what needs to be done. Comments. Comment 1. I rarely say this because I think it gets thrown around too casually. But OP, you're emotionally abusive. And I say that as a dad who co-parents with someone just like you. Everything you wrote is about dominance, surveillance, and control. Not one sentence of this update shows any interest in connection, empathy, or even basic human decency towards a teenager in your care. Deborah is not your child. And your entire post reads like you're on some twisted crusade to prove you can outparent her actual mom. That I'm basically her only real mom line. That's F up. Her mom might be absent, but you clearly see Deborah as a project to manage, not a person to love. You compare her to Megan constantly and not just in passing, but as if Megan is your measuring stick for what a worthy daughter looks like. But they didn't come from the same place. Megan has your approval built in. Deborah never had a chance. So no SHT. She's shutting down, hoarding snacks, and skipping class. She's surviving you. Your husband's not silent because he agrees with you. He's silent because he's checked out. I've been that guy. He probably doesn't have the energy to fight you anymore. I hope for Deborah's sake he finds it. Comment 2. You sound like a nightmare to live with. The level of micromanaging in this post is alarming. Throwing out her snacks, treating her room like communal space, interrogating her over laundry money. You're not parenting, you're power tripping. And the worst part, you genuinely believe you're right. You keep saying things like, Megan does this and Megan doesn't complain. As if that means Deborah is defective. Megan probably complies because she doesn't have to fight to be treated like a human in her own home. You've made it clear that love and decency are conditional in your house and the condition is act like Megan. And the line about Deborah preparing her own food because she won't eat with you. That's not a boundary. It's passive-aggressive starvation. She's 13, not 30. Kids isolate when they're being emotionally cornered. You're pushing her into disordered eating and then punishing her for the symptoms. You're the kind of stepmom they write memoirs about and not the good kind. Comment 3. What really gets me isn't even the controlling stuff, though there's plenty of that. It's the complete lack of curiosity about why Deborah behaves the way she does. You never once ask why she sneaks food, why she shuts down, or why she avoids you. It's always she's disrespectful, she has no accountability, or she doesn't act like Megan. Newsflash, Megan is your child. Deborah is a kid whose whole world changed when her dad married you. And instead of helping her adjust, you treated her like a defective model of your daughter that needed tightening up. You barging into her room because she doesn't clean it is insane. Teenagers have messy rooms. It's developmentally normal. You treat normal behavior as defiance because you don't like her. Be honest. If Megan had snacks under her bed, you'd laugh and tell her to grab a trash bag and grounding a kid for months over skipping a single class. That's absurd. That's punishment designed to hurt, not teach. Your husband is giving her money. That wasn't betrayal. That was compassion. Something you seem allergic to. Uda. And honestly, I hope someone in that house intervenes before you cross a line you can't walk back from. Update. Things have changed and I still don't know how to process what's happened. After my last post, things continued to be tense at home. Deborah barely spoke to me. My husband was silent most days unless he had to communicate something basic. Megan stayed out of the way. I kept the house running as usual. Dinner was made, chores were assigned, and rules were enforced. Then last week, I got a call from Deborah's English teacher. She wanted to discuss a writing assignment Deborah submitted. Apparently, they were doing a personal narrative piece. The teacher said Deborah's story raised some concerns. She emailed me the file. The title was Living in Someone Else's House. I read the whole thing. It was dramatic, exaggerated, and clearly designed to gain sympathy. But what stuck out were lines like everything is a rule. Nothing is mine. Even my body is watched. I smile so I don't start screaming. She compares me to her real daughter every day and acts like I failed a test. It was obvious she was talking about me. I showed it to my husband, expecting him to be upset at how she was making us look. Instead, he said, "This is how she feels." I told him, feelings aren't facts, that you don't get to rewrite reality just because you don't like being told no. He told me he was going to email the teacher and thank her for bringing it to light. That pissed me off. The final straw came at dinner 2 nights later. I made everyone sit at the table. No phones, no attitude, Just one meal together. Deborah refused to eat. Megan barely touched her food. I asked Deborah if she thought she was too good for the dinner I cooked. She looked at me and said, "I don't feel safe eating around you." I told her to watch her tone. She stood up, looked me dead in the face, and said, "You're the reason I hate waking up." Megan burst into tears. My husband told Deborah to go to her room. I tried to speak, but no one was listening. Later that night, I found Megan in the hallway crying. I asked what was going on and she said, "I don't know who to protect anymore." That line stuck with me. Not because it made me feel guilty, but because it made it clear. Even Megan was being pulled into Deborah's manipulation. The next day, I found a letter in my husband's office. It was from Deborah. She had written to him asking if she could transfer to boarding school or move out. She wrote, "Please don't tell her. I'm scared she'll make it worse. She actually believes she's being abused just because I expect discipline and respect in my house." I told my husband that boarding school is off the table. We're not shipping her away so she can run from rules. He said, "We're past rules. She's surviving you." I walked away before I said something I couldn't take back. This past weekend was a family event, his aunt's 70th birthday. I made everyone get dressed properly. Deborah showed up in ripped jeans and a hoodie. I told her to change. She refused. At the party, she sat in a corner, didn't speak to anyone, wouldn't make eye contact, and wouldn't even fake a smile. People asked what was wrong, and she just shrugged. I was embarrassed. I pulled her aside and told her she was humiliating the family. She said, "That's your problem, not mine." I told her if she walked out of this room again without fixing her attitude, she'd be grounded until the end of the school year. She rolled her eyes and walked away. Later that night, I walked into Megan's room and found the two of them whispering. I told Megan to come out of her room. I calmly explained that I expected her not to get caught in the middle, that supporting Deborah behind my back was choosing sides. She said, "I didn't choose sides. You pushed me." I told her to hand over her phone. The next morning, I woke up to a half-empty house. My husband packed bags for both girls and left. No note, no warning. I called him. No answer. Texted Megan. No reply. Finally, I got a message from him around noon that said, "I need to protect my daughters. I'll be in touch when things calm down." His daughters, not our daughters, just his. That sentence hit harder than anything else. I've spent the last 3 years keeping this house together, managing school, appointments, meals, laundry, planning birthdays, and running every system while he focused on work. And this is how I'm repaid. I reached out to his sister. She said they're safe staying at a friend. She wouldn't say where. I'm not some monster. I just don't tolerate bullshit. If Deborah had put in even half the effort Megan did, we wouldn't be here. But every time I tried to set expectations, my husband would chip away at them. He sabotaged me at every turn. And now he's playing hero because I wouldn't fold. So that's where we are. He took my daughter. He took his daughter. And I'm here trying to make sense of how doing everything right turned me into the enemy. I don't know what happens next, but I'm not apologizing for being the only adult in this house. Comments. Comment 1. You treat emotions like misbehavior, crying, manipulation, withdrawal, defiance, writing a vulnerable essay, a smear campaign. That's how cold this entire update reads. You don't understand how terrifying it is for a teen to feel unsafe in their own home. She told you in writing that she didn't feel like her body was her own. That's not drama. That's trauma. And instead of listening, you punished her again. Took more, restricted more, controlled more. You didn't protect your home. You turned it into a compliance zone. And when people stopped complying, you called it betrayal. Your husband did the bare minimum by finally leaving. Honestly, he should have done it earlier. Those girls didn't just walk away from a home. They ran for their lives and I hope they never look back. Comment 2. You don't parent, you manage. That's your whole vibe. Everything is an Operation Meals behavior, language, expression, and tone. And when someone steps outside of your control, you frame it as betrayal instead of just a human reaction. The really tragic part. I don't think you hate Deborah. I think you hate that you can't shape her. Megan conforms, so you reward her. Deborah doesn't. So, you tried to fix her like a broken appliance. But she's not broken. She just didn't let you erase her. When she sat at that party and refused to smile, she wasn't trying to humiliate you. She was doing the only thing she could control. Her silence. You walked her into a public space, demanded she perform, and got mad when she wouldn't dance on cue. Your husband didn't sabotage you. He protected 2 kids from a system that was draining the life out of them. He left because you refused to bend. And maybe now that you're alone, you'll stop blaming everyone else for the walls you built. Comment 3. This update broke my heart. Not because of what happened to you, but because you still don't get it. You lost both girls and your husband, and somehow you still think you're the one holding the moral high ground. You genuinely believe you're the only one who was right in a house full of people begging you to just show a sliver of empathy. Deborah didn't manipulate anyone. She reached her breaking point. That writing assignment wasn't performative. It was the only safe way she had to speak. You ignored her words, punished her, then doubled down when she tried to ask for a way out. You saw that boarding school letter and thought it was defiance. It was a lifeline. Megan didn't take sides. She saw what you were doing and made a moral choice. You punished her for being compassionate. And your husband, I'm proud of him. He finally did what a lot of us wish someone would do in situations like this. He stopped tolerating slow daily emotional erosion. I hope this is your wake-up call, but I doubt it. Second story, my entitled mom and my bullying sister told her she is a gold digger to her face and demanded I end my relationship because it's unfair to my sister that I have a relationship before her, then gave me an ultimatum. It's sad they won't be seeing me for Thanksgiving or any other holidays. Ionium introduced my girlfriend 19F to my Arab family last week and it was a disaster. Elmo. For context, I've never had a great relationship with my mom or sister 24F. My mom is a girl mom who treats my sister like her best friend. While I was always treated like a burden growing up, my sister and her friends bullied me until I hit a growth spurt. My mom treated my sister's boyfriends better than she ever treated me. She once told one of them he was better than me and wished I could be more like him. Lol. My sister almost exclusively dated white guys in college and my mom actively encouraged it. She'd say Arab men are uncultured backwards and have big noses and tell my sister to find a nice boy with blue eyes and a small nose while I was literally in the room. I have a stereotypical Arab nose and have always been insecure about it. But when I told her this hurt, she said I was being too sensitive. I threw myself into sports and academics, got into my dream university, and met my girlfriend there. She's an Irish international student and we clicked instantly. I'm even thinking about proposing eventually, so I wanted her to meet my family first. My dad seemed happy, but my mom and sister were ice cold. During dinner, my girlfriend offered to help with dishes, and my mom apparently told her nasty things while they were in the kitchen. That white people don't care about family, that Arab women are better, that my girlfriend might be after my dad's money, and even implied she was promiscuous. My girlfriend came back and looked awfully quiet. I even asked her if everything was all right, and she said yes, and I didn't think much about it. The next day, she called me in tears, saying she wasn't sure our relationship could work because of my family. When I confronted my mom, she said I needed to consider the family's opinions and settle down with a nice Arab woman. When I protested, my sister started crying and yelling that I was hurting her feelings because Arab men hate their own kind. And now her little brother is no different. They both cornered me, demanding I break up with my girlfriend. My dad tried to help, but once my sister turned on the waterworks, he went to console her instead. I refused to end things with my girlfriend over this hypocrisy. But now my family is furious with me. Ada comments comment 1 and Tayan you can consider and then reject your mom's opinion on the grounds she is openly racist. OP, thank you. I'm utterly confused here because this is the same woman who used to encourage my sister to only date white guys. I even thought that in some fed-up racist way she'd be happy that I found a white girl. I don't even know why she's upset. Comment 2. Don't even worry about it. If you love your girlfriend enough to propose, do it. I'm sure your sister and mother are just upset that you're about to have the life your sister was supposed to get. I'll be shocked if you tell me that she has a boyfriend right now. OP, she probably does. But again, I've been away at uni and I'm not up to speed with everything in her life. She's the type of girl who's always had a guy around, so she probably does. Lol. Comment 3. It's because your mom is insecure about herself and feels beneath white women. OP. Well, I've actually never considered that. She's always been very confident or rather boldly unpleasant, so it's hard to think of her being insecure about anything or less than anyone. Comment 4. Stick with your girl. OP. She sounds great. Don't listen to your mom and sister. I see a double standard from your mom. Your sister is allowed to date white men, but you're not allowed to date white women. And OP, I will, but the double standard doesn't even make any sense to me. Lol. My GF was hoping to have a great relationship with them, and it's such a shame that they won't let themselves find out what an amazing woman she is. Update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the support on my original post. I wanted to give you all an update. After my showdown with my mom and sister, they still refused to back down. The whole house felt very ominous. There were attempts to guilt trip me, claims that she's manipulated me and has me wrapped around her finger. You know, the usual BS. My dad finally did step up though. He told them to drop the issue and not bother me about it since I won't be home for long and will soon go back to uni. So, there's basically a truce about the topic of my girlfriend. I tried calling her back, but she wouldn't respond. She eventually texted me and asked how I was doing. We just chatted and pretended like nothing happened for a few minutes, but I apologized later. I feel kind of stupid about this. I should have known they'd do something like this. I have no idea why I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Lol. It's honestly really disappointing because she wanted to stay with us at our house and she was so excited to meet everyone. The plan was she was going to spend Thanksgiving with us and then I'd fly out to Ireland with her to spend Christmas and New Year's with her family. But it's a shame that it all went down the way it did. She asked me to come over to her hotel, which I did. And we had a long, honest conversation about everything, my family, and our future. She was still upset, but I managed to make her laugh, which honestly isn't hard. And it's one of my favorite things about her, and we ended up making love and really reconnecting. We've agreed that I'm going low contact with my mom and sister. It's just them who have the problem anyway, but my dad genuinely likes her and they got along great. He was really impressed when they talked about Arab literature and poets. She's a linguistics major with a history minor. So, it's clear this isn't about her not respecting our culture or our backgrounds. I asked if I could arrange some kind of intervention to make my mom and sister apologize, but she refused. She doesn't want to see or talk to them. And honestly, I can't blame her after what they put her through. At least she likes my dad. She's still staying at the hotel, and I can't even ask her to come stay with me after what my mom did. We're supposed to go back to uni after Thanksgiving, but she says she wants us to leave now. And honestly, I can't blame her. We even joke that every good love story needs a few adversaries and obstacles to overcome. Elmo. I won't be spending Thanksgiving with my family this time. It'll just be the two of us, which is actually not so bad. Maybe we'll find a place close to campus to crash. I think some of our friends live nearby, so there's always that possibility. As of now, I just want to let her heal and not rush things. After what happened with my folks, I don't know if it's the best idea to spend Christmas and New Year's with hers either. I've spoken with her sister before who's cool, but I haven't spoken to her mom yet. My girlfriend just dropped a bombshell. She's vaguely mentioned to her mom that she's dating a Catholic guy in college, and her mom seemed happy about it, but she doesn't know that I'm Arab. She swears her mom is chill, but after what just happened with my family, I'm worried it's going to be a repeat from the other side. My mom's probably going to be pissed that I won't be home for Thanksgiving. Or maybe she won't care. I don't know. One thing I've learned is I clearly can't predict what this woman will or won't do. But this is the least I can do for my girl considering what my mom did to her. So yeah, my girlfriend and I are solid and committed to each other. Comments. Comment 1. People like your mom won't take kindly to being told no or losing their punching bag. I suggest double-checking if you have everything important with you in case she retaliates. All your papers, accounts, and so on. Maybe try and meet your dad alone. Oh, I don't think they'll go that far. But there isn't anything important that I've left at home, except for my passport and some ID, maybe, but I'm leaving tomorrow, so I'll take them with me. Nothing to worry about. Comment 2. Don't forget you already gave them the benefit of the doubt once. Don't start giving them the benefit of the doubt on other SHT. Not until they've proven themselves through their actions after years would I start trusting their character. More than the fact that I don't think they go that far. It's that they can't really do much TBH. I'll just get my stuff and leave again tomorrow. Comment 3. Lock your credit. You left your ID there. I wouldn't put it past your mother to take up some loans as restitution. OP. Well, I don't think she'll do that, but she doesn't know what I'm up to. LOL. I'll be leaving early in the morning tomorrow and I'll only be telling my dad. He can tell them why I left early. Comment 4. Welcome to adult life with a dysfunctional family. Kid, I came here to say 2 things. Before going to her family, make sure she tells them all that you're Arab so you don't have this same problem. Stop feeling self-conscious about your looks. I spent a lot of time in the Middle East and a lot of Arabic men are sexy as hell. And obviously your girlfriend thinks so too. Good luck, OP. Well, her sister knows that I'm Arab. I don't think I'm ugly or anything. I get compliments all the time, and I've done well dating-wise. I'm tall, 6 feet 5 inches, and I'm pretty athletic. So, I'm aware that I'm at least moderately attractive. But again, when you're a kid and your mom's telling your sister to find guys with blue eyes and small noses, it's just hard not to take it personally, lol. Even if I were a white guy, that probably would have given me a complex about not having blue eyes or blonde hair. But you're right, though. I should probably ask her to tell her mom that I'm Arab. But again, we just calmed down after the SHT show that we went through. So, I'll give it some time, maybe a week or so before I bring this up again. I'm not so sure if I have that much time. Her mom might buy tickets sooner, but we'll see. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your